Notorious B.I.G. versus the Rappin Duke. The juicy Untold Story by the sample junkie himself, DJ Funktual.
Thank you, Rufus. This video is dedicated to the loving memory of Christopher Wallace, aka the Notorious B.I.G. We're talking about Biggie Smalls. We're talking about one of the greatest rappers that ever lived. Okay, somebody that even with one line of a song could create enough intrigue that this video had to be made. Alright. How many of you are in love with Biggie Smalls? I imagine a lot of you. So if I say the words, remember Rappin Duke? Yeah. Okay. Who's the Rappin Duke? And what the hell does daha mean? Well, we're here to tell you. A lot of different converging factors led to the making of this particular video. One of them was the fact that Chris Rock was promoting his movie Top 5. And when he was on the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show, he asked Jimmy who his top 5 rappers were, and he said Run DMC, Beastie Boys, Eminem, Jay-Z, and the Rappin Duke. And everyone was like, who's the Rappin Duke? So this is for the kids out there who didn't live through it. This is for all of you in Europe. I imagine like light bulbs over people's heads going to be popping off after this video is done because they didn't get the Rappin Duke back there. It didn't come out all over the world. It's really just an American regional novelty hit. What is the Rappin Duke? This is the Rappin Duke. This is the Rappin Duke 12-inch. My boy 360 Mix right now is playing the 45 for you, the instrumental side. A little bit slower, so I can talk. But this is the Rappin Duke, the record. Now, what is the Rappin Duke? It is a novelty record where the late John Wayne died in 1979, the Rappin Duke came out in 1985. Basically, John Wayne was rapping from beyond the grave, and John Wayne, who was a country Western legend, film star, had a laugh that people like to do impressions of. And his laugh was sort of a da-ha. That was John Wayne's laugh. Okay, he didn't laugh often, but that's what it was. Now, in 1985, rap was brand new, okay? Brand new. So people were kind of like not sure how good it was or if they even liked it because it was kind of in its you know, goo goo gaga phase of, you know, like, you know, we were still like trying to shout out a room on the record, but there was no room, so it kind of sounded like a bunch of chants. It wasn't the sophisticated thing that we know it to be later on. Okay, so it was ripe for parody, and this was the Reagan era. So there were a bunch of Reagan political rap songs that came out back then, okay? Impressionist Rich Little did a song called President's Rap. It is god-awful. I mean, really, really bad. It's not even really a rap or even an attempt at a rap. It's really just, it sounds like a comedy routine that's being done live on stage with someone playing Nancy, and then they just put a beat over it while it's playing in the background. That's what it sounds like. So then later on, cartoonist Gary Trudeau of Doonesbury comes up with this, I think it was the Rap Master Crew or something like that, and they make the Rappin' Ronald Reagan thing. It's basically like a parody on how Ronald Reagan would try to stir up the youth vote by making a rap. So this had been done before, this whole rap parody thing. But John Wayne, like I said, was recently deceased, and he's sort of a controversial figure in terms of the type of movies that he did. He really was like the person who kept the world safe for the white people when the Indians were acting all crazy. You know, sort of like a revisionist history star. But you know what? Regardless of what his personal opinion of the world is, we're not here to poo-poo John Wayne, long since deceased. We're just saying that the song could be interpreted in different ways because it was the Rappin Duke. And when you're sort of like, well, maybe you just need to hear the song. Should we get it started?
Yeah.
Oh wait, before we start, legend has it that Pete Rock created this beat, and that Puffy showed up at Pete's place, heard the beat downstairs, then ran out and recorded his own version. And Pete just said, "I'm not pissed. I just want credit." He ended up being offered the rights to do the Juicy remix, the Pete Rock remix. But basically, you should know that this all came from Pete Rock. So here's my little mind map that's going to help me keep all these people together. These are all the people involved in the Rappin Duke Notorious B.I.G. story. Here's you, hearing Biggie talk about the Rappin Duke, who is John Wayne, who made a controversial Playboy interview, which we will not discuss here. Without further ado, brother, give him the mix. We're going to talk about this song, the Rappin Duke.
Tony Romanov in the mix.
Yeah. He's talking about cassettes. The tape would pop. This is what a cassette is, kids. Shout out to the Detriot Butcher for helping me with this mix. This is M2May's Juicy Fruit, the fruity instrumental mix, which is the one that they sampled. They didn't just sample Juicy Fruit. Come on now. Biggie! Who could make a pop song without losing any integrity whatsoever? Biggie could. Because he was an inclusive rapper. He would kind of bring you and say, "Hey, this is how I grew up. I didn't have nothing either. We're all the same." That was Biggie's gift. It wasn't just, "I'm better than you." It's, "Come, be a part of this." But who the hell is the Rappin Duke? Oh, the cat wants to be fed. Get out of here, I'm trying to do a video. This is the Rappin Duke, people. Turn it up a little bit.
With your rap, well, I'll tell ya, Pilgrim, I started the crap. When you were in diapers and wetting the sheets, I was at the Ponderosa rapping to the beat. Da ha, da ha, da ha, 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 da ha,
I'm gonna take a pause.
da ha, ha. Now you see me in my movies doing my thing, but deep in my heart I wanted to sing. Way down upon the Swanee River, far, far away. Titwillow, titwillow, titwillow.
Alright, pause it. So, like, you get the gist. Silly little novelty song. You get the gist, okay? Tidwillow, by the way, comes from the Gilbert and Sullivan, what is it, the Mikado? And that Way Down Upon the Swanee River is a folk song from the 1800s. I think it's called Old Folks at Home. That's where he got all that stuff, okay? And I think that's important that I throw that out there because the guy who made the Rappin Duke was a little bit older. You know, this whole, we didn't really get into the whole urban legend thing, but I guess we're gonna have to. There were certain kids, myself included, that thought, ridiculously, that the Rappin Duke was a racist record made by rednecks to destroy hip-hop. Yes, that's right. And those of you who have read this book, Can't Stop, Won't Stop, that my boy is holding, know that there's kind of a long history of the NYPD kind of doing things to suppress hip-hop culture, which is really strange considering they were doing this instead of fighting. You should think that they would just be happy, but I guess they were very slow to develop trust. But like I said, they would paint over the graffiti, they would do everything they could to sort of demean this hip-hop culture before it got out of control and the white kids started to like it. You know, I think there was a little bit of that sort of Reagan paranoia going on. But why would I think that? I didn't even know really who John Wayne was. But what happened to me when I was a kid, I'll never forget it. Let me just take a sip. My best friend Danny, his father owned a mechanic shop, okay? We were out there visiting, he went in to talk to his dad, and I was outside. The guy who always worked on the cars always listened to country music, okay? Always. And so I'm waiting, and all of a sudden I hear the Rappin Duke coming from out of the garage. Now me and Danny, we both loved it. We had that record. He had the 12-inch, I had the 45. And I see that like it's coming out of the garage. So I go in and the country western dude is listening to it. It's playing on his radio station. And the guy's going, you know, I'll piss on your grave and there'll be no more after me. And the mechanic dude's like, he's like, yeah, Duke, get rid of this crap. Why don't you take this rap music and put a C in front of it and call it what it really is? That type of shit. We used to hear a lot of that sort of crap back in the day. So I hear this dude say this, and I run with Danny back home, and I'm like, we have to play the record again. I thought I heard something really weird. He's like, okay, I put the 45 on, we listen to it, and I become just transfixed on the fact that he's like dissing my heroes. In this song, he takes a swipe at the Sugar Hill Gang, and it's kind of amusing. And he takes a swipe at Melly Mel for doing the Chaka Khan thing. And then he takes a swipe at Curtis Blow and Run DMC, and I start getting pissed. So I think it's time to let the mix go. Let's go back to the mix a little bit. Guys, check this out. This is what Paranoid Jamie heard as a little kid.
Well, I don't think that's your style, but I'll tell ya, Pilgrim, I'm versatile. Aretha Franklin, let me rock you, Aretha Franklin, let me rock you, Aretha Franklin, that's all I wanna do, Aretha Franklin.
Connecting Melly Mel to Aretha Franklin, Chaka Khan, and Prince and Stevie Wonder all at once. So he's making fun of Melly Mel's Chaka Khan thing.
Bebop, Weebop, Scooby-Doo. Guess what, America? We love you.
Rapper's Delight. Like I said, he did Chaka Khan.
Now Curtis Blow, Run DMC. You haven't heard a rap till you heard it from me. I'm the baddest rapper in history, and there'll be no more after me.
What did he say? There'll be no more after me.
What I do on your grave won't pass for flowers either.
Wait, what? So we as kids thought that this guy was trying to take rap music away from us. We really did. Go ahead, it's alright, let it roll. Back to Juicy though. Alright, pause it again. Guys, blow up like the World Trade. Now this is back to the kids. I'm addressing the kids again. The World Trade Center attacks on 9/11 is not what he's talking about. That was 2001 and 9/11, 2001. And the first attacks was in 1993. Biggie died in 1997. He couldn't possibly have been talking about that. But in case you didn't know that, there was actually a truck bomb in the basement of the World Trade Center in 1993. And the intention was to make one tower fall and hit into the second tower. I believe it was even Al-Qaeda related too, but that's what he's talking about. He would never be making light of that. I've heard the kids going, that's effed up. Not effed up. You don't know what you're talking about. In fact, let's talk about a few more things. Private stock. Sounds like something that's really fancy to be sipping on, right? Not. It's a 40-ounce malt liquor. Private stock. You also need to know Mr. Magic and Molly Mall of Rap Attack. That's WBLS radio show. Some of you kids actually know Mr. Magic, the late Mr. Magic, because he has a radio station on your Grand Theft Auto Vice City game. That's how you might know Mr. Magic. Okay? And Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. I'm assuming you know who these people are, but if you don't, rest in peace, Heavy D. There's a lot, I mean, I forgot to talk about Rappin' Rodney. Even Rodney Dangerfield had a rap record. Let's go back to the mix. So funny. All right. Yeah, if you don't know, now you know. Word. Juicy. That's so awesome. Check this out. Biggie was chosen as the #1 rap song of 1994 in this book that picks the best rap song of every year. So, there I am. I now know about most of the history of it. I'm about to make a video about an urban legend so that, just so you guys have more perspective. When we heard Biggie say, remember Rappin Duke, da-ha, you never thought that hip-hop would take it this far. We thought, yeah, Get back at that stupid Duke! How dare you make fun of our stuff? You never thought we'd take it this far. And we would say that because Biggie's Juicy actually went to #1. And that was really the tide shifting from where rock and, you know, the hair bands and grunge, they sort of had this moment where they just started to fall out, and hip-hop went, oh, you ain't with it right now? And it makes sense because 10 years, 15 years after music starts is when it usually hits its peak. It was going up while rap was going down, and that's how it happened. But really, Biggie could have just been saying, think about how far we've come since Rappin Duke.
Right.
But to me, it was like, yeah, screw the man! Like, that was the greatest line ever. You never thought that hip-hop would take it this far. Play it some more. Give him some more to mix. We really believed that. That made it one of my favorite lines of any rap song ever. And turns out it's all BS. None of it is true. It's all just perception. It's just like all in your head. Shawn Brown, the man who made this song, is not an evil redneck. He is a black man, and he's a comedian and a veteran and an awesome guy. I thank God I can contact this guy. I contacted him because he's still online doing his thing now. See, all right, let's go back. I'm gonna tell you the story of the Rappin Duke now. You ready?
Ready.
Okay. The Rappin Duke gets off. He's an Air Force veteran, right? And he's doing like kind of comedy relief at the base. He's not like touring or doing anything, but he's starting to get his legs as a comedian. So he goes to LA and he's working at his job. This guy fires him. He's like, you know what? Then if I'm fired, I'm going for it as a comedian. And he went to every single open mic in LA. He just went over and over until like he had no money left. You know, but he started to get this sort of good vibe from doing songs on stage, raps on stage, raps in characters on stage. So he's running out of money. He's like, all right, this is my last show. Sis, if you don't mind, why don't you come down and see me? His sister comes to the show. Shawn Brown's sister comes to the show. She brings a lawyer with him. He says, that song was kind of funny and cool, that song you did there. Can I get the tape, you think? So he passes the tape. She passes it to him. He goes and listens to it and goes into his own little world. The Rappin Duke is like, yo, Shawn Brown is thinking, well, I'm not going to be a comedian. What the hell am I going to do with my life? He goes to sleep on his cousin's couch. He's thinking, what the hell am I going to do with my life? Remember Rappin Duke? Oh! Yeah, so he's on his couch, thinking that my career's over, and the phone rings. And it is a legendary R&B producer, H.B. Barnum, saying we got a hold of your Rappin Duke tape, and we would like to make a 12-inch of it right away. Can you come down? We would like to record it right away for you. Pardon me. I'm making a video. I told you I'll feed you later. Get out of here. Sorry. I have a cat that just insists on being eating whenever she wants to be. Never mind. Where was I? Oh yeah, H.B. Barnum calls him. Okay, I want to make a video. I want to make a 12-inch with you. He's like, okay. He gets down to Hollywood. Johnny Walls of JWP Records. That's JWP right there. H.B. Barnum worked with Lou Rawls and Gladys Knight and Aretha Franklin. In fact, the Rappin Duke told me that when he went to do the Chaka Khan part, HB convinced him that he should change it to Aretha Franklin and that it would be much funnier, which of course it was. So this dude, who was a comedian a few weeks ago, is now thrust into the spotlight. Why? Because of one station in San Diego, XHRM. In San Diego, they went to him and they said, listen, give us one spin. If the phones don't light up, you'll never hear from us again. Blows up. Then it goes to KDAY, the influential hip-hop station in LA. Boom!
The juicy Untold Story.
Rufus Thunderfunk in the house.
The Notorious B.I.G. versus the Rappin Duke.
So, like I said, now all of a sudden he's thrust into the spotlight. He's like doing shows and like record convention shows and stuff like that, trade business shows. He said all of a sudden they're like, you're gonna be opening up for Stevie Wonder at this gig. He's like, what? Yeah, he's gonna be opening up for Stevie Wonder. They're bringing him in to meet Stevie. He walks in. They go, Stevie, this is the Rappin Duke. What does Stevie say? Da 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 ha 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 ha. Because he was old enough to understand about the Rappin Duke. But that doesn't mean that people my age were crazy. Because I'll tell you what, the one person who also did not appreciate the song was Russell Simmons. Ooh. Russell Simmons met him at a different convention. I think he was opening up for New Edition at this particular one. And Russell Simmons got up in his face. What does this mean? What do you mean there'll be no more after me? You know, I can imagine what Ed Piskor is going to have to do to draw up. He's going to have to draw, you know, this confrontation between the Rappin Duke and Russell Simmons backstage. Shout out to Ed. One more sip. My God, this is a long story. I hope I'm not boring you, but guys, here's the icing on the cake. You ready? I called the Rappin Duke. I called the guy. He's a great guy. He actually works entertaining children. He has his own thing called the Super Fun Show. It's a DVD that he sells with children's entertainment. And he's like a sought-after public speaker. He helps the Head Start program, our federal program for kids. He helps train the teachers who will be teaching the kids. The Super Fun Show. I think I covered everything. That's got to be it, right? Wait, that's almost it. The only thing that would be really cool now would be if Jimmy Fallon, you know, he brought all this up. You know, I think he should get the Rappin Duke and Russell Simmons on stage for a little hug it out. Little closure. Who wants to go to the Tonight Show? So if you enjoyed this lesson, tweet Jimmy Fallon, tweet Russell Simmons, tweet Shawn Brown. I hope you enjoyed the show, guys. And if you don't know, now you know.
Aretha Franklin, let me rock you, Aretha Franklin, let me rock you, Aretha Franklin, that's all I wanna do, Aretha Franklin.